Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and this is one of the few live streams that I do periodically. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, and I felt like I needed to come on today and let me know if for whatever reason you're not hearing me. My audio is always one of those things that struggles during these live streams. So leave a comment in the section because I'm watching it and I'll do what I can to, chat back. But there's been a lot of stuff that has come out since the C-3PO event was launched. I was able to get him 7-star. I really like him. I haven't been able to level him up. My C-3PO, as you can kind of see in this little section here, isn't super great. I didn't mod him as well as I probably could have, or definitely not as well as I should have. Hey, Deadpool Kyle, welcome back to Freedom, and obviously to the Going Nerdy channel, of course. But as you can see, guys, like I was able to get his basic up. I wanted that basic completely omega'd. His Zetas, I ran out of omegas. I did. I used most of my omegas as I was trying to get him at all, just to unlock him. And it was frustrating because now I've got to have like 40 omegas. And I refuse to buy right now. I'm just in a place where I can't spend any money on this because it's kind of a, I don't know. And plus I want to gear him up the hard way, the free-to-play way. And I want to see how long it takes me. Now, again, he's level 8. Gear level 8. He's a solid character. I've got decent mods. They're not great by any means, but they're okay. I mean, there's nothing to really write home about here. Nothing spectacular. He's got, again, he's pretty okay. And I'm fine with that for now. For now. I want to get him to a point where he's phenomenal. Like many people have. And as you've probably seen, Mick Mole and a few other YouTubers out there have kind of put out this video of a C-3PO team rocking the effing house. You've got a Zeta Finn, you have C-3PO, you got Raid Han, you have, oh balls, the names were slipping me. And others, right? I can't even remember who else. Leia and Chewie, right? OT Chewie. Or, OG Chewie. It's really the same. It comes out to the same. Hey, guys, welcome to the channel. But it was funny. In Mick Mole's video, he's like, I know, the moment that I post this, they're going to nerf it. And sure enough, they are going to. This came out shortly. What's really frustrating for me is this afternoon I came home, spent an entire day with my family. Good times, right? Good times. Went to Arby's, which I haven't gone to in a while. Great food for, whatever. I make a video and I start editing it and I get sidetracked. And hours later, as I'm about to post it, boom! We see this link. And essentially, it doesn't necessarily undercut what I was going to say in the video because a lot of the stuff I was going to say still has value. But I didn't think they would respond this quickly. EA's response time has been lacking. It's at best, lacking is the right word. At worst, it has been downright dismal and disappointing, which is really sad because, again, it doesn't always come off to the community, but the people who work there are gamers. They're players of the game. They love the game. And so they don't always get that across to the community, which in my thought is just ridiculously frustrating as a gamer who's seen behind the curtain. Now, we get this post and it says, hey, look, there were some unintentional bugs, right? We played around with it, but the whole auto phase 3 of the Sith Triumvirate raid, that's not what we were going for. And because that's not what we were going for, it's gonna get nerfed, right? And that's essentially what this post comes out to be, right? It's not supposed to work like this. It seems like every time there's something new or something big like this, we get something like this. Some bugs, some unintentional, unexpected problem that it worked the way that they wrote it to work, but that's not what they intended it to do, right? And so you have that back and forth, which as a player, I mean, I was all out, gung-ho, like, this is going to be freaking sweet. Finally, we're moving towards, like, something bigger and better. Now, what I was going to say in the video that no longer going to post is this is just an effect of the power creep. The more overpowered characters they introduce to the game, the more something like this is going to happen, right? The more something like this is just going to show up, right? Now, and Grayson Link here makes a point, and I'll get to that here in a second. They're not necessarily going to change anything yet. Now, I want to make that clear. So first and foremost, guys, if you do have C-3PO, use the heck out of him in P3 for the next 2 weeks. Because what they did say is they're not going to make an adjustment until the start of the year, until 2019. I'm going to. EA and CG have learned from their mistakes. They've adjusted some stuff. And what they're going to do is wait, gather data, figure out what really is the problem, and how they can fix it. Having some technical difficulties. This is partially the reason why I don't live stream. I'm in my basement. And let's see if that helps. The idea, though, guys, is this is going to be a problem. They said after evaluating the options, after evaluating essentially what they've... Shit snacks. Whoop! After evaluating their options, they're going to give it a little bit before they start making tweaks. My hope, and I think that this is going to actually be the case, is that they don't... My hope is that they don't adjust the Treya raid, the STR too harshly. I actually hope they don't adjust the STR at all, because that's something that I don't think needs to be adjusted. It's difficult enough. We've seen enough tweaks and adjustments. We've seen enough crap that has happened to this raid that I really just hope they don't do anything else to it. I want them to adjust, I don't know, nothing, to be honest. What I want them to do, and what they're going to do, obviously are going to be two totally different things. What I would like to see them do is actually introduce harder modes, introduce harder levels, introduce harder aspects to the game. I want them to be better about not introducing these overpowered characters. I want them... Man, I want them to introduce the mythic Rancor raid. Because if C-3PO is the character that he needs to be, if he's the powerhouse that he should be. And I think that he should be. I think C-3PO should be an amazing assisted character, and a character that allows other characters to really blossom, to really bloom. Finn was a solid character, and it's not that he stopped being a solid character in and of himself. He stopped being a solid character because of the power creep, because so many other characters were introduced that it just doesn't make sense to use Finn anymore. Now we have an opportunity to use Finn, to use characters, to build a team that is powerful, that is strong, that, I mean, does some solid work. I don't know. That's just my thought. That's absolutely what I'm thinking. I don't think they need to be doing anything with the raid. Personally, I don't think they even need to nerf anybody. I think this just needs to be what it is. And if they're introducing legendary characters, give us legendary events that we can use them on. Not the legendary events where we can unlock them. That makes sense, right? But the legendary events that we can use to, I don't know, like a legendary territory battle, a mythic raid, as they've been thinking, as they've been talking about, as it was hinted at, probably leaked even. I would love to see that. Now, that being said, I do think that they're putting this off because they have something else. I think that they're putting off making this adjustment because there's something else for the last part of 2018. I think that it's very possible that we could see something like the Mythic event, something like an indoor territory battle, something that would be so freaking sweet that it would just blow us all away, and then we'd be like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to see, or that's whatever. That's what I'm thinking, right? Now, for those of you guys who remember the leak, you know, there was that little section. Am I still on a black screen, guys? Let me know, because I'm watching the chat. But I'm sitting here thinking, there's got to be something more than just this, I don't know, than just these like super powerful characters who break the game every time they're introduced. I honestly want them to be hardcore. I really want to see just a powerful... Now I'm just rambling. But I do want to see something that makes these uber powerful characters useful, right? A place where we can use them. Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but part of the reason why I was thinking they weren't going to do this is because of the power creep, right? I honestly think that because the power creep, because the whole rock, paper, scissors of C-3PO, of the arena, of all of this crap. Now C-3PO and the Ewoks are meta. And maybe they're not meta. I don't know. Let's go ahead and jump over to SWGOH.gg and look at the meta report. But like, I honestly think that we could see more and more characters. Now, and I'm liking that. I actually think that it's pretty freaking awesome that more and more players are able to get access to, I don't know, just to different meta teams. I think you're right, Revan Striker. I think they do need to make some massive reworks to the characters that suck. I really would love to see a Gamorrean Guard rework. Cup would be awesome. A Cup rework would be phenomenal. I mean, half the Jedi need to be looked at, if not completely adjusted. I would really, really want to see really anything other than what we have. We've got some great tunes. Like, I'm excited. I was excited about 3PO. I was excited about Chewbacca. I'm excited about Revan. I didn't get him, unfortunately. Spent more than I should have to try to unlock him. But I am really excited about all of these new characters, but I'm disappointed that they've forgotten all of these other ones. Now again, if they can do a rebalance, if they can take some of these older tunes that have been in the game since launch and adjust them to make it so that maybe not everyone's meta. That would be stupid, that if everyone was meta. But if they adjusted it so that you had a roster that you could actually use for Grand Arena. Like right now, I'm looking at my Grand Arena and I've got some solid characters. I really do. But if I use them on defense, it's hard to create an offensive team to say whatever. I would love to see balance brought to this game, right? I mean, you can argue there's never really balance in the Force. There's always, one group that's more powerful than another or whatever. But I would love to see that. That would be really freaking cool if we could have those characters that all of a sudden were worthwhile, right? So looking at the meta report, like it doesn't really show much in the way of, let's see real quick. It doesn't show much in the way of a lot of stuff because let's face it, C-3PO came out a couple of days ago. It's only going to show, up until I think the last 48 hours. But you have C-3PO, you have 62% or 62 teams, which is about 1% of players are using C-3PO in Arena. He's a solid character, and I'm stoked to have him as part of the game. I just really freaking wish that, I don't know, that I just wish that I could use the rest of my characters. I wish that I could use the Jawas against droids. I wish I could use droids. I mean, I still haven't had a chance to believe that, or I haven't had a chance to, I'm reading the comments. I think the overall theme is that Mick Mole needs to stop. I think they were probably aware of it before Mick Mole made his video. I think that he brought it to the attention of those gamers who didn't know about it. I had seen it before. I had heard it being talked about, but I'd never seen it in action, right? I played around with it a little bit, but not much. And so, yeah, I think that they were probably aware of it. Now, to what extent were they aware of it? Was like the whole creative team aware of it? I don't know. And like it was mentioned earlier, it took the player base less than a day to break C-3PO, or to find the break in C-3PO, the team that would break the game using C-3PO. Whereas it took the testers, how long were they playing with this? Probably at least 6 weeks would be my guess. But I don't know. Like, Deadpool Kyle, you're right on, man. I love Grand Arena. It's a lot of fun. If my internet wasn't crappy and my stream was a little better, I'd hop on and let you guys see my team. But like, I really like it. It's a lot of fun. I think we just need to give it a chance. And I know that sounds, I don't know, cliche or, shilly, but I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. And let's go ahead and, this is the team that I'm working with right now. This is my crew. Boop. All right, let's bring them up real quick. So this is me, right? This is Broderick Jones. This is my character. Or my ally code. I started November 16th, 2016. So, November. Oh no, I joined this November 16th, 2016. I'm like, that's not right. This is my galactic power, character power, ship power, all that other crap. But you guys are right. There's a lot of fluff. If you look at this, right? I have 54 G8 tunes. I have 16 G9, 20 G10, 13 G11, 45 G12. What I do, and this is different than a lot of other people. Like, what I go through, and this actually shows you how terrible I'm doing right now in Arena, or in Fleet Arena. I really don't pay much attention to it. It's kind of sad. But if you look at my character list, I mean, I'm going through, and what I do is I level all of my characters to 85. And I know that's people like, no, that's stupid, especially in Grand Arena. Right now, it kind of is stupid. I think, however, it's going to be adjusted. And this is the second round of Grand Arena? Did the first one even count? Are we still in season 0, or are we in I don't know, season 1 now? I think we're probably still in season 0. But if you look at this, like, I'm looking at my tunes, and they're almost all level 85. Let's jump down to the end. I mean, even Gamorrean Guard is 85, but I've had him for like ever, and that is obvious. Carthonasi is the last one that I need to get up, and everyone else is 85. Now, most of them are gear 5 or gear 7 or above. That's like kind of like my sweet spot, right? Once they get to gear 7, I kind of leave them alone. I feel like that's where they're still viable as tunes. If I ever need to like really dig into my roster, that's where I can really pull from. But what it's done is it's spread me pretty thin. I mean, instead of gearing up all of these guys to level 7, or to even gear 8, as some of them are, what I could have done, and this is what a lot of people have done, is focus on just the meta tunes. And while that's a great strategy, right, and has been for a really long time, I do think that it's changing. I do think Grand Arena is allowing us to develop these characters who we really haven't spent a lot of time on. I mean, if you look at let's go by, just faction, like my bounty hunters, right? Not a solid bunch, right? I've got Boba Fett, Greedo, and IG-88, 12. The rest are gear 11 for the most part, except the newest tunes. I'm not even gonna try to focus on some of the newest. I want Bosk, but with so much crap that's going on right now, it doesn't make sense for me to even try and farm Bosk, because I've got to get all my gear up. I've got to get all I've got to get better mods. I've got to get more character shards for all of these other characters. I like Jango Fett. His node, as like Arnold and Mobile Gamer have both pointed out, his node's a solid node. It comes with a lot of really good stuff. But it's one of those things that I just don't have the energy to do, right? Both, in-game and emotionally. I mean, there's just so much crap that goes on. My clone troopers, I mean, I'm going to worry about them when they get their rework. Right now, they're okay. I've got the 2 that I like up to G12. The other 3, I'll let those play out. This is my droid, and I freaking love droids. C-3PO is going to be my next Gear 12 droid. HK-47 is going to be the next one after that. Probably Chopper after that, simply because I really want to get the Phoenix Squad completely Gear 12, completely Zated, so that I can just let them go. So I can just leave them alone and forget about them until, obviously, they raise it to Gear 13, and then I'm screwed, and I have to start the whole freaking thing over again. But it happens, right? Probably after that, I'll be T3. I like T3. I think he's a solid character. And then maybe after that, K2SO. But like the idea here is there's just so much going on. Empire. Oh my gosh. Right after my main characters, Thrawn, Palpatine, Vader. I mean, Tarkin I should get to G12 because he's a solid character and he's got a ship. I mean, that's really the only reason I think he should have a G12. Same thing with TIE Fighter Pilot. Death Trooper, now that, the Chex Mix team is kind of useless. I think I'm gonna wait, and I'm just gonna go completely Gear 12 all of my Resistance troopers or Imperial troopers, because that is a solid team. Going needy. Awesome. Oh, how do I allow that? Anyways, this is what I'm thinking, though, guys. I'm rambling here, but I really think that what we're going to see is the power creep. The power creep is hopefully leading to something bigger. It's cool, man. I thought it was funny. I want to see a territory battle that is actually challenging for a what do you call it? A team, a group, a faction. No, a guild. I want to see a territory battle that's actually challenging. And that is a good name for a band. I loved when we got our first Rancor, right? Do you guys remember that? Or were you around for that? I mean, a lot of people weren't, but like, I freaking welcomed from New Zealand. I freaking loved it because it was so challenging. Because no one had seen this before. No one knew. The tank came in, you were like, okay, these are all the tips and all the things that we learned from the Rancor. Let's take everything that we learned and put it towards the tank. Nothing worked. None of the teams worked. None of the strategies worked. We had to completely revamp everything. Now we have the STR. Same concept. Now we have Grand Arena and territory battles and territory wars. I love those things. I do love the human interaction. I think that's really freaking cool. Territory wars, Grand Arena even. As you guys can see, as you guys know, I am effing terrible at like arena. I mean, I know how to like stay in the top 50, but I'm just not like focused enough to get to 1. And I'm too lazy to reach out to anyone in my guild shard because I don't know. Or my arena shard because I don't know. Just as a one. I just don't want to do it. I'm just too lazy. So I should because, that whole back and forth would be nice. 500 crystals every couple of days would be great. But I freaking love this game. And I love that challenge. I do like the what do you call that? The most dangerous game, the human element. Fighting against a non-bot. Fighting against someone who has a strategy that might differ from mine. I think that's freaking cool. I really do. And I hope they do more of it. I don't know how they could do more of it. I know a lot of people have talked about, going live and allowing live interactions. I think that would be freaking sweet. Good luck with work, SD. I would love that. I don't ever see that happening. Not with this game. It just doesn't make a ton of sense in my mind. Maybe it does for you guys. I just don't see how it would work a live interactive event. I don't see it happening. But I do like kind of that feeling of chess where you set something up, you set a strategy, and then you pull them in and you're like, boom, here's this. And did they fall for it? No. Did they fall for that? No. Crap. Now I've got to do something else. I like that. But I also think that they need to make the other areas of the game, the other parts of the game that don't have that human element, that it's a set it and forget it type thing. I think they need to beef it up, right? And here's the thing, and I think this is a very a very not disappointing but disagreed with point of view. I think when it comes to the difficulty level, there needs to be a point when CG says, we made it difficult for a reason. Give it a shot. If you're a new player, you're probably not going to get Revan the first off. If you're a new player that's never farmed Ewoks, sorry guys, C-3PO is out of the loop. There are mechanics, there are things that the player base has created. I mean, if you look at the pillars by Warrior, I mean, that's a solid... I think that's a solid way to build your team. The idea, though, is end game needs to be challenging. end game, I need to lose more than I win. And because when I win, I need to earn that win, right? I can't just auto it. I think that's frustrating for me as a player. And for me as a player, when I can beat something so easily, I typically move on to a new game. You know, I typically move on to something that's a different challenge. I mean, I love mobile games. On my Xbox, I actually play those little crappy app games way more often than I play other games. And it's stupid. I know I spend $60 on an app game, but then, you know, here comes the Xbox Live free monthly game, and I'm like, ooh, something nice and shiny. I love that. I love those little hard games that are challenging and the puzzles because they're freaking tough. They make you think. I don't know, guys. These are all my thoughts. And based on what we've known, based on what we've learned from, you know, freaking this C-3PO nerf, I think it's possible, very possible, that we could see, that's right, Xbox for the win, baby. No offense to all of you PS4 guys. Well, offense, because I just like Xbox better. I've always liked it better. Ever since I played Fable 1 on the original Xbox, you got me. You freaking got me. I was done. And when I moved into my house, I told my wife, I was like, I'm buying an Xbox One the day we move, because if I'm going to spend a couple $100,000 on a house, I'm going to spend $500 on an Xbox. That's just dumb. That just makes sense, right? Here's the thing, guys. I think there's a lot of changes that they could make. So all of this comes back to C-3PO. There's a lot of changes they could make towards this. They could fix this in a number of different ways. I don't know how they're going to do it. I hope that what they do is they take their time and they don't nerf something just to nerf it. And they don't, you know, adjust something just to make it different. Personally, I hope they don't even touch C-3PO. I really don't. I don't know. And it also doesn't make a ton of sense to throw in another, you know, hoop to jump through on the STR. But if they do, make it a challenging one. It kind of sucks that the only other team outside of Chex Mix is this, you know, Finn Madness team, and it dominates, and they're just boom kicking it out. I don't see them. Yeah, I don't see them nerfing C-3PO. I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts? Leave comments in the section below. I've got a bolt. I think I'm gonna go watch Christmas Vacation with the missus, or even something. I'm not even sure. Maybe I'll watch not Luke Cage. What's the other one? Iron Fist. Oh. Sometimes watching terrible movies around Christmas time or terrible TV shows around Christmas time, it's the best part. It's the best part of Christmas, right? I'm spending my Christmas day watching Masters of the Universe. Dolph Lundgren, 1987. Great movie. Just phenomenal. Happy holidays, Deadpool Kyle. Always a pleasure. He's one of the few that I actually talk to on a pretty regular basis. Join us in the Discord channel. Visit me on Going Nerdy. I'm trying to post more random stuff. Guys, one last thing before I go. And this isn't as related to, you know, the game. And we could very well be potentially getting a Star Wars Episode 9 trailer leak, or not even leak, but trailer in the next couple of days. And you better believe that I'm going to come on here, I'm going to talk about it, and it's going to be freaking phenomenal. Whether you've liked the sequel trilogy or not, it's part of us now. And I've got a whole other side of things when it comes to that, but I am so freaking excited for that because it's more Star Wars. It's just more Star Wars. And again, Mara Jade, hopefully, Mara Jade, I'm fingers crossed, right? If it were Mara Jade and they didn't screw everything up, I mean, I think it's possible that they could somehow redeem Episode 8. Fingers crossed that JJ doesn't just say, oh, Rey woke up and that was Episode 8 was all just a dream. And actually Episode 9 is going to be 2-part. It's going to be 9.1 and then 9.2. I don't know. Guys, I'm out. You take care. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Join us. Chat with each other. Visit us on Discord. Follow us on Going Nerdy on Twitter. Wherever we can be found. And I say we when I'm really only meaning me. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. As always, my friends, stay nerdy. And since I haven't actually stopped the streaming